you want to shred Mephisto, Lilith and all the bosses in Diablo 4 with your druid to pieces in a few seconds, then I got the right shred updated guide for you. Shred is currently the best druid build in season 14. I will teach you how you can maximize your shred damage, how you get better defense and why you should or should not take a legendary amulet, and how you can craft your gear pieces along the way. So all the stuff you need to get a really good shred build together and start to push the tower leaderboard. After the quick introduction, we will go into some important topics of the shred druid. So first of all, when do you use the Malefic Crescent and when do you use a legendary amulet? It's pretty simple. Only use that for pushing. Or if you're going to do hard bosses like Mephisto, you can kind of one-shot Mephisto with the Legendary Amulet. And also, it is really important to get crit strike damage multi on it. Lightning damage multi or all damage multi. Vulnerable damage multi, that's also pretty important. Crit strike chance, S1 would be as a J. And as a temper, get vulnerable damage on it. And then as an aspect, get Archdruid's aspect and also the Storm damage makes enemies vulnerable. But that's pretty important. Get either crit strike damage multi or vulnerable damage multi as your GA ones. As you can see, I got like 100% crit strike multi on it. But that's important. And for every other content in the game, use Malefic Crescent. Why? Because with Malefic Crescent, we will get additional 50% movement speed bonus. And that's multiplicative, so it can go over the 100% movement speed additive wise. So that's pretty important. So you will be way faster. So yeah, take your blood towel when you're doing like speed content like Nightmare Dungeon, Helltats or something. I also want to know how to craft my newest quest, and you can do that with every other earpiece. So first of all, get the add affix and then add your tuning prison, your willpower on it. You got your willpower now, and now because it is a 2J, you kind of need to gamble first of all with some focus reroll, so you will get a better willpower roll on it. Now the item is already kind of completed, and you only to get to enchant your auras on it would take a while, and then you only need to add your affix after that. So I got auras, and this is kind of really good test armor. So I also want to show you how to craft your amulet, because this is one of your best damage multiplicators. So take one amulet with crit strike chance, vulnerable damage multiplier, or crit strike damage multiplier as your J1. Then add so many affixes, that is a rare one. And if you have one J, then just log the one that you want. So you can get this as your basic amulet with a 1J. Later on, it is more gamble when you have like 2 or 3 Js. But with the 1J, just log your crit strike chance. So that means that your crit strike chance can never be rerolled. So now just remove all of your affixes on that. Remove affixes, remove affixes. You can see we only got a crit strike chance, and now you gamble a bit. You now just want to add affixes. You have 4 of them. So now you got willpower, all damage multiplier, crit strike damage multiplier. Yeah, like good multipliers, crit strike damage multiplier, and all damage multiplier. Now we want to chaotic reroll the willpower, because we want to get like a vulnerable damage multiplier. So we now need to chaotic reroll this, and we still got willpower on it. So now resource cost reduction. So now you need to do this with the resource one. You want to go for offensive one, resource cost reduction, still chaotic reroll. Because with chaotic reroll, you will reroll to another category with the defensive one. So now you can hopefully get offensive one, life regeneration. It's still a def one. So now we have a really great amulet. As you can see, vulnerable damage multi, crit strike damage multi, and all damage multiplier and crit strike chance. As you can see, this is now a pretty good amulet. Now you only need Master Target and to temper it, but this is kind of how you can get a guaranteed good amulet with 1 J. As I said, if you have 2 J's, then the gamble will start, because then you can enter a reroll one of your desired J affixes. And this will apply to all of your craftable items. You can craft this with a really good 1 GA ring. You can do this with a 1 GA boots and also with a chest armor. And then you will have also a lot of good legendary items. The survivability, because that can be a huge problem when you're kind of going for high pits or high towers and you will be here squishy. How can you counter that? Well, there are kind of different things that you need to notice. First of all, get maximum life on nearly every gear piece you want. Basically, first of all, Evolves will. It is really important to get max life and armor, and the best one would be also all res, plus a maximum life temper with a J on maximum life temper, and then also get a crit on either max life or willpower. That will be by far the best. The same goes for boots. Go for max life armor as your affixes. Max life and armor as a J would be even better. And then also for your chest, go for max life and armor and also all res, and then hit your max life as your J and as your temper. Masterwork, and also go for max life temper, and then also get the aspect of debilitating toxins, so you will get a lot of damage reduction on there. And on your amulet and your rings, get the skull, the ruby, and the topaz. Why? Because diamonds are worse than specific gems, and because this will reduce physical resistance, and that will reduce the damage that will come from the exploding guys, and that will reduce the lightning damage. It will be really, really good. And also get your Gaethan's Birthright. This will give you a lot of damage reduction. Through Cyclone's armor, get max life as your temper, as also max life as your affix, and then you can also get some Cyclone armor ranks in it. Also for your 2 weapon pieces, you can also get max life on it. I got this on my Waxing Gibbous, and you can also get this on your totem if you have a what free. But then also your talismans. So try get your talismans with things like fire res and cold res on them, and physical res and poison res. So cold res not that good, but fire res, it all with fire res, physical res, and poison res. But the best ones will be fire and poison res. Didn't got that many, only 2 them, and only 1 with cold res. So yeah, and I need to get even more of them. Best would be if every one of them would have that. Also on top of that, get your skill tree, and that is pretty important. So for pushing the scenario, you want to go with the minimum ranks of Crystal Rage that you can get. I got 20 ranks distribution, and then it is important to go for like 13 to 14 Cyclone arm ranks. I will also talk about with your Bloodhowl in a minute, and also get like 4 to 5 debilitating raw ranks, and then get the rest ranks into the bulwark, so you have amount of skill points between all of them 3, so you will have a lot of damage reduction with your debilitating raw, cycling armor, and the bulwark. And how can you trigger your other bulwark? Through your Procurun, so make sure to always do damage. And the last part is just get enough Paragon nodes. You can get Paragon nodes here, as you can see. You'll see, okay, I got this here now, but you can get even more max life here and there. Also get your max life nodes, then get some armor here, get some auras here, and get some auras here, get some armor here, some max life there. So try to get all of your max life nodes. This will help you a lot. So currently I'm at like 38,000 life, and in general at town I'm at 570,000 toughness. So that's kind of how you can solve your defense problems. And also your spirit boons, kinda important, very nice for 15% reduced damage from elites. Also your mercenary with Rahir, he will give you a lot of all res. And with that, you are kind of good for your pit and tower pushes, but still keep in mind that if there is like a fire orb or something appearing, that you still need to kind of dodge out of the circle and then dodge back in when it disappeared. Okay, next up, with your breakpoints, what should you reach? As you can see right now in town, I got 66.4 crit chance. That's already pretty good, but you can even get like a GA crit chance, and you can go for even like 70 to 75 or something. That would be really, really, really good. Other than that, take crit damage multiplier and vulnerable damage multiplier. That is our two best stats. Crit chance, then crit damage multi, and then vulnerable damage multi. We don't need that much attack speed because we got the wolves with 40% attack speed and our ferocity charges with 20, so we are at like 60% attack speed. And after you got your crit damage multi, vulnerable damage multi, take your lightning damage multi, and after that your willpower. So that is how your affixes will be contributed. So crit damage multi is always the best. Okay, next up, we will go now a bit through our gear and also how you can craft pretty easily your desired gear. First of all, Gaithan's Birthright. It's your best choice. Also get a resource generation on it. That we will generate more of a resource to get more damage, get more benefit from the Storm Shepherd's 2-set bonus, from the bonus multi that we're going to get from Storm Shepherds, and also get max life and willpower on it. Resource generation with Jay and Masterwork is really important. Okay, so now we know which affixes you should focus as your offensive or defensive. Really important. Get max life on every piece of your gear, get armor, and get always. These are your stats. Get them. It is really important. You should have armor on every piece of gear and also max life. And the third best one would be always. For your rings, get some cool reductions. You can get cool reduction on one ring, and also to get then on one ring to get cool reduction. Also, if we're gonna play with the Legendary Amulet, you need to get the temper to like hit, chance to restore your primary resource in order to counter the blood hole from the Malefic Crescent, and because we take so many times, we're gonna get so much resource through that. You know which affixes you need to focus on, and also for the last part, get your 100% movement speed through your boots pretty easily. Get a GA movement speed as temper, get a normal movement speed. You can also, if you're a bit lucky, a GA movement speed, so then you would have allowed 70% through your boots. Yeah, pretty important. Okay, so now you know which affixes you should focus on, which units you should get. Well, pretty easily, Aethel's Birthright, get it with a resource generation as a GA and also Masterwork Grid, because this will give you a lot of more Storm Shepherd's procs, because you will generate way more resource with that. In addition, this will also give us some Cyclone Armor, uptime, and damage reduction, also get max life on it. Also, Dark Hole, these are pretty good. You get one with crit strike chance and crit strike multiplier as your GA. Then Masterwork your crit strike damage multiplier and get crit strike damage as your temper, and vulnerable damage multiplier is the second best stat. Then for Tibalt's Will, as I said, these four stats are like the best. Willpower, max life, armor, always, and max life as temper. Get it, you need this. This will be a huge death boost for your build. For your weapon, get a Wax and Gibbous as your mythic one. Crit strike damage multi is pretty important instead of willpower. Weapon damage max life is also pretty important, but that you will have enough max life. Threat and crit strike chance, this will be enough. The same goes for if it's a totem. Try to get crit strike damage multi on it. Also vulnerable damage multi would be nice. Weapon damage, willpower, crit strike chance. So then, as I already said, you know what you should take for your ammo. These are kind of the best stats. For your ring, get Dirge of Aerodire. It is also with crit strike chance, crit strike multiplier, vulnerable damage multiplier, and also willpower. And as a tempered cooldown reduction, so we have more uptime of our Crystal Rage. This will be by far the best one. And additionally, you can also copy that crit strike damage, vulnerable, crit strike chance, all damage, or lightning damage multiplier. So another pretty important topic are the gems. Actually, you want to get the highest ones. I currently only get the Horror Dream. The flawless ones are the best, as you can. The top of the leaderboard, they got all the flawless Horror Dreams. So yeah, they will give you a lot of damage. This will give you a 32 lightning damage multiplier. I only get like 24. That will give you another 20%. So how can you farm the gems? Pretty simple. Either with tool crafting, get your topaz fragments, for example, or your ruby fragments if you need them. Keep in mind, you will need topaz fragments for ruby fragments, so I would recommend you get your flawless ruby first, because you don't need another of them, and after that craft all of your lightning ones, and then your sapphire, and then your skulls. Oh, but how can you also get more gems? Just upgrade your war plan to like rank 9 or rank 10. Then you will start to get mythic gem rewards. With mythic gem rewards, you will get a lot of your gems in your reward caches, and they will have a real chance to upgrade this, because you really need it in order to push really high in the tower leaderboards. You can also get the tree whispers to always select the gem fragments when you have the chance. And also, if you don't have like a war plan set up right now, you can also do the nightmare dungeon with things like Sapphire Reserve, because then you will have a lot of tests with sapphires, or with diamonds, or with rubies or something. And also in the escalation sigils, you've also some chance, because you will get rerolls in total. And for rune words, go for the Pok Kui and the Moni Thul. We're gonna go for Moni Thul Frost Nova, because the Azora you get a lot of more damage. So then for your skill tree for Lightning Storm, pretty simple, max it out. Additional strikes, movement speed, and as a werewolf for Hero of the Storm. The Force Shred, also max it out. Get Storm Shred, get cast speed, but now this is kind of like a divided topic. Normally you will get healing, because you need a lot of healing for this build, because you're kind of squishy. But if you want to go for like rank 1, because rank 1 uses the Berserking, but keep in mind you will have a lot less healing capabilities, and can be kind of frustrating, because you need to dodge a lot of things, and you need to play really good. So for the highest shot, Berserking would be nice, but in most occasions just take your healing one. Then for your defensive skills, this is for the push setup now. Go for 7 ranks into a Cyclone Armor, go for 15 ranks into other Bulwark, or also some more ranks into other Bulwark, and some more ranks into Cyclone Armor. You can balance that out, and go for like 4 to 5 ranks into Debilitating Roar. So you will have more duration, then you have a cooldown on it. As you can see, I can still go with some ranks down, and can get more Cyclone Armor. So I have now 12.4 seconds duration and only 10 seconds cooldown. So we will have some 100%. Take also cooldown if you have maximum uptime either way, then you can take your maximum life. But besides that, if you want to go for like more ranks to your Debilitating Roar, which is kind of hard to get on, then take just your cooldown. Also go for Boomerang Roar, so we're going to get more duration and more effects, because we're also going to play with Dark Cloud, so we're also going to get way more damage through that, and also increase duration. For the Cyclone Armor, as I said, go for Reversal, so you will pull the enemies together. When you're fighting boss like Mephisto or something, go for Crater Cyclone Armor. You also go for Resistance, it's also increased radius. Go for other Bulwark, Fortify and Healing, Travertine Bulwark, and also Unstoppable. This is also your source of Unstoppable for your T-Balls will. Get 1 point of Wolves for Thrill of the Hunt and attack speed. Get Hurricane with movement speed, Weaken, and Jericho. For a Crystal Rage for pushing scenario, you only need 1 point. Get then Torment Beast fortify and cooldown reduction, but if you're playing in like speed farm occasions, get max rank into Crystal Edge and lower your ranks on your death because you don't need it. You have a higher uptime because you don't face that many enemies. For a Paragon board, pretty simple. First board Spirit, second board Keepers, also Lustful Carnage. Third board, your Earth and Sky is also a Thunderstruck. Second last board, go for a full minute, is also a Heightened Malice. And your last board, go for Constricting Tendrils, is also Law. After that, max out your radius of your cliffs, and if you have done that also, then go for all of your maximum life nodes, and after that go for even passive bonuses. For Merc, go for here, all the side, reinforcement, all kin, and as I said, for your talismans, just go for the Storm Shepherds as also Azeroth set, and for your seal, you can get things like lightning damage and crit stack damage while you have the Storm Shepherd set. This is also a pretty good one. I hope I could show you a cool build guide update that will help you to reach higher ranks in Pit and the Torment difficulties. And if you have still some questions, please ask them in the comments down below. And if you like this video, please leave a like and a sub. Would boost my channel tremendously and help me a lot. And until next video, bye.